Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's online Speak Out Home practice session. My name is Samantha Allenderry. I'm a speech language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. I have worked exclusively with individuals with Parkinson's for the past 24 years, since 1999. I'm here to help you establish and maintain a consistent Speak Out Home practice routine. I know it's not easy to have to do these exercises every day in addition to your physical therapy or your physical exercises and managing your medications. So hopefully these online sessions are making it a little bit easier for you. Today's Friday, and we do things a little bit differently on Friday. Today, what I want to start off with is a speak out warm-up. Now, I'm not talking about the May Me, My Moo Moo, but we will do these. But when I say warm up, I hope that all of you are doing your exercises in the morning, and then before you go out in the evening, I would like for you to do a little warm-up. Okay, the warm-up usually doesn't take more than 5 or 10 minutes. You can do them in the car if you're not driving. Okay, I don't want you driving with intent and doing your exercises with intent at the same time. But I want you to think of your voice like an instrument. Someone who plays an instrument in the symphony will practice in the morning, and then they would never perform before warming up their instrument. And so that's what I'm talking about right now. Right now I'm going to go through what one of these little warm-ups would be. So let's take a sip of water and then we'll do it. For a vocal warm-up later on, you might do 3 of these May Me, My Moo Moos. Okay, let's do 3 of them. Really focus. May, me, my, mo, moo. If you're doing these in the car, make your voice project over the hood of your car. Ready? May, me, my, mo, moo. And one more. May, me, my, mo, moo. Very good. Go ahead and take a sip of water. Most people with Parkinson's will say that it is easier to speak with intent in conversation if they have warmed up their voice. Do you agree with that? If you're practicing with us on our website, go ahead and chat. If you're not familiar with the chat, you see on the side of the screen, on the right side, it'll say type in your nickname. Once you go, and it doesn't have to be a nickname, I would put Samantha from Dallas. It's nice to see where everybody's from. Once you do that once, if you're always practicing on the same device, you probably won't have to do it again. But go ahead and try it and let me know. Do you notice a difference? Is it easier for you to speak with intent and be heard and understood after you've warmed up your voice? That's how it is for most people. All right, the next part of a vocal warm-up is your ah, and we're only going to do 3 of them. Let's project that ah forward. Ready? Nice job. Okay, again. Really trying to keep it steady. Don't let it trail off at the end. One more. Good. Let's take a sip of water. The next part of a vocal warm-up or speak out warm-up is to do 3 glides, okay? Project it all forward and then slowly glide up and get all those little notes in there. Ready? Nice and steady. Good. The sound is always in front of you. Let's do it again. Good. We'll do one more with intent. Here we go. Nice job. Get a sip of water. Grab that cup with intent. Take your time, but then swallow with intent. We're talking about a vocal warm-up that you'll do maybe in the evening or maybe even before an important meeting. Okay, if you're going to meet with your attorney or your financial advisor and you haven't been talking, maybe it's been a few hours, you've been by yourself, you might warm up your voice. That would be good. All right, the next part of a vocal warm-up is just to count to 10 forward and backward. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Backward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? You don't think about the breathing. You just think about projecting forwards. Okay? Let's do it that. Again, we're going to use a little bit more intent, so we'll slow down a little bit. And we're going forward and backward without stopping. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I took several breaths in there. It's not about doing them on one breath. You try to connect them, and then you just take a breath whenever you need to. The last part of a vocal warm-up is that you would recite something that you know very well. It can't be a cognitive exercise. It has to be something you know very well, and then you recite it with intent. So it could be a prayer. It could be the Pledge of Allegiance. It could be words to a song or a nursery rhyme or an old college fight song, something like that. And you just use your best voice and you read it. And that's the vocal warm-up, okay? I really want you to be using that vocal warm-up. It is very important that you do that in addition to your regular speak out practice. Now, we still have time today, so I do have something else planned. Let's go ahead. Oh, usually the Gula Gangaga is not part of the vocal warm-up, but you could do them if you want to. But for today, all right, the vocal warm-up is over. Now we're going to continue on with our session. Let's do each of these words, these nonsense words, twice. We're really exaggerating the G's, the K's, and the NG's because we're trying to force the back of the tongue to go up and hit the roof of the mouth. That is the same movement that your tongue uses when you swallow. Say each one twice. Ready? Speak out. Gu la gun ga ga. Again. Gu la gun ga ga. And the next one. Ku ka man gu ka. Exaggerate. Ku ka man gu ka. Ready? Gangla. Gangla. And the last one. Kukla. Kukla. Very good. All right, let's get some water with intent. All right. What I prepared for today is a little bit different. We haven't done this before. I'm going to give you some scenarios. We're going to read them with intent. And then I'm going to ask you some questions. Now, keep in mind, sometimes when people think of speech therapy, they think, well, that material is too elementary, okay? It's not about the actual question that I'm going to ask you. I know you know the answer, okay? We're not reading these questions to try to teach you the answers. We're trying to use our very best voice, and I'm trying to force you to have to think a little bit on it. Challenging, but not frustrating. But don't think of speech therapy as being too elementary. Okay? I don't want you to think of that. We know you know the answer. We're just trying to strengthen the muscles and use our best voice. So the first one, we're going to read it together. I want you to exaggerate the highlighted words. Very important. And then I'm going to ask you the two questions. We'll read them together. And then I want you to answer each one. Okay? Let's read this together. Suppose your book was overdue at the library and you couldn't find the book. What should you do? Go ahead and answer that question. Your book is overdue at the library and you can't find it. What should you do? Now the next question, let's read the next question together. What should you probably not do? All right, and these can be funny, all right? They can be, we're not bad people, right? We always do the right thing, but just for sake of having to think a little bit more and speak out, what should you probably not do if your book is overdue at the library and you can't find it? What is something you probably shouldn't do? Maybe blame somebody else, right? My dog ate it, something like that. All right, let's read the next one. Now you'll start to get where I'm getting at with these. All right, ready? John was stopped by a policeman because he went through a red light. What should John do? Okay, what should we do? Say it with intent. Now, I really want you to think of something funny or just something crazy that you would never do. Let's read this together. What should John probably not do if he is stopped by a policeman because he went through a red light? What should he not do? All right, next one. Ready? Mrs. Smith's son, Bob, hit a ball through the neighbor's window. I want you to read that again. Make sure you're stretching out the highlighted words. Ready? Mrs. Smith's son, Bob, hit a ball through the neighbor's window. What could Mrs. Smith do? Okay, so what could she do? I want you to answer in a complete sentence. What could Mrs. Smith do? Now, try to be clever about this. What should Mrs. Smith probably not do if her son hits a ball through the neighbor's window? Maybe not blame it on somebody else. Let's read this together. Sue bought a sweater on sale for an out-of-town relative. She finds out later the sweater is the wrong size. Now, what could Sue do? Are you speaking with intent? Use your best voice. And what should Sue probably not do when she finds out she gave a sweater to an out-of-town relative and let's say it's too small? What should Sue not do? She might not want to tell her relative, don't you think you ought to go on a diet so you can fit in that sweater? This is where I'm getting at. Just silly responses. Let's read this one. It is a very cold night and your furnace stops working. The repairman can't come until the morning. What could you do? What could you do? And what should you probably not do? Some of these are more serious than others. All right, this is the last one. Ready? Linda's brother and his wife came to visit her unexpectedly at supper time. She only has enough dinner prepared for herself. What could Linda do in this situation? Say it with intent. And what should Linda probably not do in this situation? Right? Maybe she should order pizza or they should go out together, but she probably doesn't want to just sit and enjoy her meal by herself while her brother watches. I would be curious in the chat feature if you will let me know, do you like that exercise or you don't really care for it? Okay, go ahead and chat and let me know so that I know whether you might like to do that one again because I have more of them. All right, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Speak with intent, swallow with intent, walk with intent. Basically, do everything with intent. And I will see you again on Monday. Thank you for joining me today. Bye-bye.